Perfect.
Corinne.
I'm hi. I'm like loving everyone's backgrounds with every room I go into. You guys like have it makes me feel like transported.
Absolutely. Welcome to Ondine's Garden.
Um, I have seen the first 5 episodes. I just have to say, like, I love period pieces. Period pieces are they're so great for me. For me, with Dangerous Liaisons, I was actually kind of scared to watch it because I have such a history with the film. Um, but like I really enjoyed it. So can you tell me a little bit about, for somebody who hasn't watched it, why they should watch it, a little bit about like your character?
Why should they watch it? Because I think we're doing this fantastic thing where we're going back into period pieces and reflecting what society actually looked like at the time. So, in terms of the power of representation in
Mhm.
diversity, I think that's definitely a strong reason to watch this show. A little bit about my character. Ondine is the stepmother of Valmont, and is just deliciously manipulative and seductive. And I think that it's very interesting to see a woman who has found solutions to navigating what is very much a man's world in this period.
No, definitely. She was kind of scary, to be very honest with you. Like, I wouldn't mess with her. I wouldn't like she's that stepmom where I was like, wait a second, you can't get away with anything here. Like,
Glad.
right?
I'm
Um,
glad.
but that's part of like what I loved about you bringing her to life is that you brought this feeling of like I was so like it's so different talking to you now because you seem so not scary, like, like so I really see how you were transported into your character. But that aside, I should talk about the show a little bit. What made you want to do a period drama, and why do you think that now is the perfect time to do a retelling, of Dangerous Liaisons?
Well, I mean, I played Merteuil in drama school,
Hmm.
and that for me was a fantastic opportunity. I was in a class full of people who were visually perfect, uh, and I was honored with the role. And so ever since then, I I've taken up any kind of material on this story, and I'm a big fan of other period pieces on television and a Shakespeare geek, but I've never seen myself, and so it felt far away, but I had hopes, and I think that it's so relevant because we're having so many conversations about representation and diversity, and so we go back and we see this representation and diversity at a time where it's always been diverse.
Hmm.
It feels to me like correcting history.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
No,
it's the little girl in me that was mad for this stuff.
I think it's beautiful. I was actually speaking to a friend of mine who does not like period pieces, who's only ever watched Bridgerton, and she feels like it's very, they're very white, and they are. And I was telling her about Dangerous Liaisons and just the representation in there, and she's excited to watch it and to see because it's something that she never saw growing up, and she's in her 40s now. And so I just think it's so beautiful that we're in a sense correcting history, because it's just, it's, yeah. I love that answer, but I really think that what you guys are doing is super powerful. And I think it's going to come across to a lot of people that way, and I'm excited for people to see that. One thing, I was doing research about like everybody, but one thing I found about you, and I could be wrong, but this is my interpretation, is that acting, it has always been your calling. Like there's never been anything else that, like, you were meant to. I mean, sure, you're meant to do other things, but it's been your calling, that it's you, who you are. It's who, it's your craft, and you've really beautifully defined it and fought for it and make sure that, you know, you put yourself into it 100%. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things that I learned, you know, that I learned about you from my, again, my interpretation from interviews and things like that. So I think it's really important to ask you, for people who feel like giving up, for people who don't see themselves, for people who feel like the world is way too far away for them, what advice would you give, and how would you convince them to stay motivated?
I think seeing is believing. Erin, you're gonna make me cry. What?
I'm sorry.
No, in a good way. I think seeing is believing. And if a little girl from, Arabia, from a minority within a minority, can fly across the world and pursue something like this, and and be able to have opportunities to play the role that I do on this show, I promise you anything can happen. So it's taken a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm so thankful to be here. So I think that I hope that my journey can contribute to that statement being very true and make it real for anyone who is like me, who might be also gender fluid, queer, or from a poverty background. Those are all the worlds I come from. I hope that they know that they can do this too.
You're gonna make me cry.
Oh
Like,
my God, is this what it's like to be interviewed by fangirlish?
I mean, honestly, I think with it, what you've done and just your background and the way that you've been, you know, just even reading up on you is inspiring. And I think that you're going to continue to inspire. My time is up, but I really just I can't wait for everybody to see you, because they're just going to be blown away by this whole series and everyone in it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind words. They touch me deeply. So
Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
you too, Erin. Take
Bye.
care.